It is absolutely huge. It's probably the worst hostage crisis, international hostage crisis that Algeria has had that I can think of. Let's stick with the facts, because there's a lot of really conflicting, very confusing reports coming out of there, out of the local media. What we do know is at 2 o'clock this morning, armed militants who are probably from one of the Islamist offshoots of the groups in Mali, they overpowered this gas facility, which is jointly run by BP, British Petroleum, and Statoil, the Norwegian company, along with Sonatrach, which is an Algerian gas energy company. They overpowered them. There was some shooting. It does seem that 2 people have been killed in that, and a number of people have been taken hostage. The latest reports, which are unconfirmed, talk of the hostages being kept on site, and even in some cases able to still communicate with their relatives. Another report talks about a convoy of vehicles driving out of there with hostages in them. The Algerians have sent their own forces down there. Obviously, the British Embassy in Algiers is trying to establish how many Britons are involved. The Foreign Office has put out this sort of slightly vague message saying that they're caught up in it. One report said it's 5 people. Another said it's 8, another said it's 20. The latest, which is a claim put out by an Al-Qaeda-linked group, saying that they've got 41 people, but that's coming out of Mauritania, hundreds and hundreds of miles away. So it could be true, it could not be. I think it's possible that this is overspill from the fighting in Mali, but just to put this in perspective, there is a recent history of hostage taking for money in the Sahara by groups who are Islamist, they are jihadist, but primarily they are money-making. They've extorted millions of euros.
But an Al-Qaeda-linked group apparently put out a statement saying it's in retaliation for the French, for Algeria allowing the French to use Algerian airspace for these Mali attacks. What do you do with a statement like that?
Well, you try and verify, who is behind it. I mean, there are names cropping up. There's one group that's claiming responsibility, calling themselves the Witnesses in Blood. Another one is calling themselves the Masked Men. I'd never seen these names before. I don't know who they are. Just to say that millions have been extorted out of European countries. Britain, of course, doesn't pay, British government does not pay ransom money. Right now, I would imagine that some pretty urgent talks going on.
We don't know if they're asking for
Not yet, no, and they probably wouldn't do so publicly.